Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you all. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know that you are here on this morning. I hope that you all are having a blessed morning thus far. Let me know that you are here. Okay, I see a couple viewers, nothing in the chat yet. Okay, so we are still in our relationship series, and this morning I want to talk to you all about defining the relationship. So if you can please type that in the chat, define the relationship. Good morning, Tez. Good to see you. So no matter what type of relationship that you're dealing with, it is important to define it for clarity. You can spend a lot of time with people that you may consider to be your friends, but they may only consider you to be an associate. Or if you're a Christian, you might just be an assignment to them. Or if you're dating someone, you're believing the ultimate goal is marriage, but the other person may just be going with the flow. So you don't want to just give anyone a title that they don't deserve. The Bible tells us in John 15 and 15 that Jesus calls us friend. It reads, I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father, I made known to you. So an upgrade or a promotion had occurred. Jesus elevated his disciples from servants to friends. They're still obligated to serve, but now there's a different level of responsibility, a different level of respect, and a different level of expectations. Because now I'm sharing things with you that I wouldn't share with anyone else, or that I couldn't share with you before, because a master can't be vulnerable with his servants. But now I can, because you spent enough time with me and showed yourself approved. You wouldn't share your deeper secrets with someone that you consider to be just an associate or a coworker. You would share them with a friend or maybe a best friend. Jesus identifies his true followers based on an intimate relationship. Some people think of intimacy as just a sexual bond, but it's deeper than that. True intimacy can only be felt with the heart. There is a difference between knowing about God and actually knowing God. Let me say that again. There is a difference between knowing about God and actually knowing God. Sinners know about God. Even atheists, they know about God, either by word or mouth, or maybe they heard a scripture here and there, or read a scripture here and there. They heard he created the world, but they choose to believe in the Big Bang theory. But followers of Christ, they actually take the time to get to know God for themselves. When you date someone, you take the time to get to know them. You're learning that person's ways, what they like, or dislike. You develop a better understanding of their character. And when you stay committed, you develop a deep bond, a closeness, a friendship, a communion, or a fellowship. Sometimes you don't even have to speak, but just being in that person's presence and breathing their air is good enough for you. And that's how our relationship with God will be defined. He wants to know us in the ways listed above, and he wants for us to know him in those ways as well. When you develop an intimate relationship with God, three things happen as you stay committed, right? A father child relationship is developed. You're recognizing him as your father, and you as his son or daughter. The fruit of God's spirit is cultivated. So the love, the joy, the peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. And then number three, your life becomes a reflection of God Himself daily. That's as you stay committed to Him, right? He wants an all or nothing relationship with us. In Revelation 3:14 through 16, Jesus addresses the church in Laodicea and says to them, I know your deeds, that you are neither hot nor cold. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out my mouth. This is Jesus defining the relationship, right? His invitation to come to Him is all or nothing. You can't stand in the gap and play both sides with Him. Things that are supposed to be hot or cold aren't pleasing to the taste buds. That's why He says He will spit you out of His mouth. So you have to pick a side. Are you with me or against me? Are you a friend or an enemy? We don't believe in frenemies, right? You're either with me or against me. Define the relationship. When we read Luke 9:23, the New King James Version, it reads, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Right? If who desires to come after me? Anyone. He didn't point out a specific group of people. He didn't say if the rich man or the poor man desires, if the best dressed person desires. He said anyone, meaning it's all inclusive. Anyone means everyone. When we look at the life of Matthew, um, his birth name was Levi. He was born to Jacob and Leah. He became a tax collector for the Romans, turned his back on his own people. His job was to collect taxes for his own people and give it to the Roman government. He was considered ceremonial unclean. He wouldn't have been allowed to the outer court of the tabernacle. But the Bible tells us in Matthew 9:9, as Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax office, and he said to him, follow me. So he arose and followed him. This practice was unheard of by the other rabbis, right? Because they were taking applications for followers. And then here comes Jesus inviting people to follow him. When he invited Matthew, he was making it known that you don't have to have your life together to follow him. He's saying, follow me and I will help you get your life together. So when we look back at Luke 9:23, it reads, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. That word anyone keeps standing out. We understand that the invitation is open to everyone, and anyone who has the desire to follow Christ can do so. When you have a desire to do something, it's deep within your heart. All you have to do to follow Christ is just pick up your cross and follow him. Matthew got up and followed him without hesitation. That was him defining his relationship. Anyone can follow Jesus, but not without giving up everything first. Write this down. The difference between a follower of Christ or a friend of Christ and an enemy is the cross. So the difference between a follower and an enemy is the cross. When you pick up the cross, you are fully committing to Christ and allowing him to be the head of your life, right? The cross symbolizes the sacrifice. It means you lay everything at the altar. It means following Christ to your death. It means dying to self daily, even if it means rejection from others or even persecution. Followers make the conscious decision to pick up their cross daily and follow Christ. If anyone desires to come after me, Let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. So, what does Jesus want from us when he extends the invitation to come after me? Come after means to chase or to pursue. He wants us to pursue him with passion. That goes back to the intimacy that I mentioned earlier. You have to pursue him to know him and to experience all that he is. So, to my single people, we have to stop settling for less than what we deserve. If a man desires for you to be his wife, he's going to pursue you with passion. He's going to be consistent. He's going to deny himself by turning down other women. He's going to deny his flesh when it comes to you as well, because when you genuinely pursue someone, it's not about sex, right? You want to know that person's heart. You want him to know what you think and how you think, what you like and what you don't like, how you handle certain situations. And in return, you have to be open as well, because intimacy is getting to know one another. So you're going to take the time to get to know that person as well. Genuine relationships are based on commitment, not convenience. Let me say that again. Genuine relationships are based on commitment, not convenience. They require sacrifice from both parties. Friendships aren't always fun and good times. It's not always ha ha kiki. Sometimes we may have to counsel our friends. Let's look at David and Jonathan's friendship. Jonathan is the son of Saul, and David served under Saul, but then Saul got jealous of David and wanted to kill him. And in 1 Samuel 20, Jonathan made a covenant with David. Verses 16 and 17, it reads, "So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, May the Lord call David's enemies to account." Verse 17, "And Jonathan had David reaffirm his oath out of love for him, because he loved him as he loved himself." That's a brotherhood. Jonathan made a sacrifice, right? Some may look at him as a traitor because he went against his father. But he made a sacrifice and went against his father to save his friend. He let David know of his need to flee and pointed out the places David didn't need to go and the people who would harm David by association, right? Relationships are about commitment and sacrifice. They're also about growth, right? In the beginning, I told you that Jesus called servants, or another scripture read slaves at one point, but then we were elevated to friends. So you don't want to stay a girlfriend forever. At some point, there needs to be an elevation from girlfriend to fiance to wife, or however you decide to do that. But the ultimate goal should be marriage. After 6 months, let's start asking questions like, where is this going? And that applies to friendships as well, right? Like I said, it's not all about partying and ha ha kiki. There may be some roller coasters at some point. But if you and your friends are friends who like to go out all the time to clubs, at some point that has to get tiring to you, right? There needs to be an elevation. Like, hey, sis, I'm tired of partying. Let's go and get to know Christ together. Let's elevate our friendship. Let's become more. You have to define the relationship. Define the relationship, no matter what it is. Okay? If you're wondering where you stand in someone's life, sit down and talk to them. Like I said, you might be thinking you're a friend, or consider someone a friend, but they may only consider you an associate. Sit down and talk to that person. Hey, what are we? Are we friends? Are we homies? What are we? Listen, I hope that this devotional was a blessing to you all on this morning. I pray that you got something out of it. go and define your relationships. Please tune in tomorrow for Wednesday's devotional. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.